Oh, hello there. Yes, well, can I kick it? No, you can't. That would be morally reprehensible. Yes, talking of which, we had the usual Camilla Toomini show at the weekend, and she had all the good grace to invite on the Israeli ambassador, zippy as she is, and not ask her any real questions at all, which obviously don't need to be asked. The woman did make a number of interesting statements. The primary one of this was this, which is brilliant. Iran developed a ballistic missile program that can get to London. Yes, except everything I can see about it says it has a range of 2,000 kilometres. So I presume the plan is to ship it to somewhere near Rome and launch it from there. Hopefully the Italians won't be too happy about that. Yes, not a word about Israel's nuclear weapons. Not a word about, do you not think this might be a bad idea? Anyway, they had a security expert on afterwards who basically agreed that Iran's are really, really bad. So there you have it, the whole gamut of opinion from A. Anyway, moving on. The other thing that caught my eye at the weekend was a nefarious plan by the committed Marxists in the Labour Party to do something that was in the manifesto. I know, having had all those governments that don't do things that were in the manifesto, apparently it comes a bit of a shock, certainly to the Daily Mail. And we had these two, equality laws, more like a licence to bash the middle classes. Yes. And they were getting very cross about it further on in the paper as well. Yes. Except here the phrase middle class is doing a hell of a lot of heavy lifting. And they do have to basically tie themselves in knots to reach a situation whereby the middle class are going to be bashed. But let's see exactly what they're talking about. What they're talking about is activating the Socio-Economic Clause in Equality Act of 2010. Oh no, not the Equality Act. Oh no, a charter intended to impose equality on all. Imagine that, imposing equality. Imposing it. Imagine the imposition of a fair society. It'd be awful, wouldn't it? It'd be awful, wouldn't it? Imagine going up in front of the beak and you get a fair trial. Oh. Anyway, its wording requires public bodies to consider actively how their decisions might help to reduce inequalities associated with socio-economic disadvantage. Oh, what does this verbiage mean? Oh, it's a licence to discriminate against the middle classes. Yes. Imagine the Daily Mail, right, okay, tying itself in knots about equality. Now, the Daily Mail does like to bang on occasionally about, white working class boys who underachieve. Surely that's a good thing, Daily Mail, isn't it? Surely getting them to achieve would be some sort of radical leftist plot, wouldn't it? Verbiage. Yeah, I do like that. Anyway, let's think about exactly what's happening with the middle classes here, because, like I say, it's a bit of a stretch, this one. When it was proposed in 2009, the radical commentator Polly Toynbee rejoiced, they do, don't they, saying the government will create an overarching law creating a duty for the whole public sector to narrow the gap between rich and poor. This will stand as the main frame from which other equality legislation flows. She described it as simple, fundamental and profound. Oh dear God, the radical commentator Polly Toynbee, or very vaguely left of centre, as we might call her, that live in the actual world. Yes. Imagine the government, right, being concerned that there are lots of poor people in the country. I mean, it's awful, isn't it? You can see how bad that would be because, of course, it's against the middle classes, yes. If we have fewer rough sleepers, it'll be anti-middle class somehow. Anyway, let's see if we can get some better detail. The main losers are likely to be the independent middle class. And again, in terms of verbiage, I'm not sure what that means, especially those who've used private education. Seen by equality campaigners as a clear mark of unfair privilege. And by the rest of society as well. One cursory glance at the statistics in terms of the number of people, 7% that go to private schools compared to all of the people in all the top jobs which are highly paid. Almost all of them. Not almost all of them, but a hell of a lot. Still, that would be unfair, wouldn't it? Imagine having equality whereby, people rise on the basis of their merit and Anyway, let's see what else we've got. Meanwhile, two other worrying measures are also on the way. Laws now before the House of Lords will make it easier for local authorities to force academy schools to accept violent or disruptive pupils, a key aspect of their independence. Yes. But we do have a statutory requirement to teach children in this country, and lots of schools, as again the Daily Mail has spent the last decade telling us, will readily kick kids out because it's part of a market economy. I don't mind. I get highly paid for working with violent and disruptive pupils, so that's cool for me. But it's a bit of a stretch, that being an anti-middle class one, isn't it? I work with a lot of middle class kids that are violent and disruptive. Anyway, and Deputy Premier, Angela Rayner, is pushing for a new strikers charter. Lowering the number of people needed to establish a trade union in the workplace. Yes, and why not? And again, it's that whole thing about how is that anti-middle class? Well, what they're saying, of course, the Daily Mail, is that apparently the middle classes all run small businesses and it's really going to hurt them to have a unionised workplace. Yes, indeed. Imagine instead of all that palaver of just, having to negotiate individually with people, you negotiate as a bloc with a trade union. That'd be awful, wouldn't it? Apparently. Every other sort of major industrialised country in the world manages fine with that. But of course, it's anti-middle class. And the thing about this is it's that inevitability whereby equality looks like oppression. Yeah? It's that horrible idea that you might get set in an exam, a maths question, which says there are three pupils, Sandra, Bert and Tarquin. How can we ensure if we cut a cake into three parts that Tarquin will get 95% of it? And the answer is a simple calculation using a pie chart will tell you. Yes, GCSE standard, because of course Tarquin has to have 95% of the cake because his mum went to Oxbridge and now works, right, for a think tank which advises people that kids like Tarquin really must get a bigger slice of the cake. And anyway, they denote to a political party under the must have bigger bits of the cake for Tarquin fund. Just ridiculous nonsense. Still, never mind, eh? Imagine that. Imagine living in a country which is somehow going to, make the poor less poor. Almost every sensible political, economic commentator regards that the level of inequality that we have, especially in this country but across the Western world, is absolutely punishing, it's crippling, and it's very, very, very bad for the economy as well as societally. Not in the Daily Mail's case, of course, no. Because that might mean that the middle class owners of, people like places, institutions like the Daily Mail might have to have slightly less billions. And we can't have that, can we? We can't. Because if you want that to happen, then the Polly Toynbees of this world have won. Anyway, do have a lovely weekend. I can recommend digging out that old Protect and Survive manual, taking doors off hinges, and if one of your grandparents should die, remember to eat them. Do have a lovely one.